If you are a senior planning to travel in 2026, I want you to pause for just a moment and really listen to this, because what I am about to tell you could be the difference between a smooth, happy trip and standing at an airport counter being told, "I'm sorry, you cannot travel today." For decades, you've followed the rules. You've traveled responsibly. You've used the same ID, the same habits, the same process that worked year after year. But February 2026 quietly changes everything. Across airports, airlines, and immigration systems, new passport and identification rules are being enforced in a way we have never seen before. Not with warnings, not with flexibility, but with automated systems that make instant decisions, without explanation, without exceptions, and without second chances. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Many of these new rules affect seniors more than anyone else. People who have been traveling safely for decades are now being caught off guard. Not because they did something wrong, but because the rules they relied on are no longer enough. Imagine this. You arrive early at the airport. Your bags are packed. Your family is waiting on the other side of security. Your ticket is valid. Your plans are set. And then, in a matter of seconds, a computer system flags your documents and quietly stops your journey before it even begins. No argument. No explanation. No boarding pass. That situation is no longer rare. And starting in February 2026, it is becoming far more common. In this video, I'm going to make sure that never happens to you. I'm going to walk you through the new passport and travel rules for seniors, explain what has changed, why people are being denied, and most importantly, how to protect yourself before you ever leave home. By the end of this guide, you will know exactly how to travel in 2026 with confidence, without stress, confusion, or last-minute surprises. And there is one quiet change that alone can cost unprepared seniors extra money on every single round-trip flight. We'll get to that shortly. My name is Sophia, and my work focuses on breaking down complicated travel and policy changes into clear, simple information, especially for seniors. The world of travel is changing faster than it has in decades, and my goal is to make sure you're never left guessing, rushed, or embarrassed at the airport. So let us begin with the most important change affecting seniors in February 2026, the one impacting domestic travel inside the United States. New domestic airport ID rules, February 2026. For years, travelers have heard about something called the Real ID requirement, and for years, many people never felt its full impact. Even after deadlines passed, airports often allowed travelers to fly using older, non-compliant driver's licenses. TSA officers could perform manual checks. Sometimes there were warnings. Sometimes there was flexibility. That era is ending. Starting in February 2026, airport security systems across the United States are shifting towards strict system-based enforcement. That means your identification is checked digitally, not casually, and decisions are made instantly. If you arrive at an airport without a Real ID compliant license, a valid U.S. passport, or another federally accepted form of identification, you should expect delays, additional verification steps, and possible fees. For seniors who have used the same driver's license for years, this is where many problems begin. What worked in 2024 or 2025 may no longer be enough in 2026. And here's the key issue. These systems do not rely on conversations or explanations. They rely on what your document shows and whether it matches federal requirements exactly. Many seniors assume they will be talked through security like before. But in 2026, security checkpoints are becoming faster, stricter, and far less flexible. This is why carrying the correct ID is now essential, not optional. A U.S. passport is fully accepted for domestic flights and remains one of the most reliable travel documents you can carry. Even if you are not leaving the country, having your passport with you can help you avoid delays, extra screening, and unnecessary stress. Another option is upgrading your state driver's license to a Real ID compliant version. Most states offer this through their motor vehicle departments, and it is often easier to do it calmly in advance than to deal with problems at the airport. The key takeaway here is simple. In 2026, your documents speak for you, and if they are not correct, the system does not pause to listen. International travel is changing even faster. If you plan to travel outside the United States in 2026, the rules become even more strict and even more automated. International travel decisions are increasingly being made before you ever reach the airport. Airlines now check digital authorizations, passport validity, and entry permissions electronically. If something is missing, the system may prevent your boarding pass from being issued at all. One of the most important examples of this change involves travel to the United Kingdom. United Kingdom travel authorization. What seniors must know. If your travel plans in 2026 include England, Scotland, Wales, or even a short connection through a British airport, there's a new requirement you must understand clearly. It is called the United Kingdom Electronic Travel Authorization, or ETA. Beginning in late February 2026, this authorization becomes mandatory for most U.S. travelers. In the past, American citizens could book a ticket, show a passport, and board a flight to the UK with no additional paperwork. That process is changing. Now, before boarding, travelers must have an approved digital authorization linked to their passport. This is not something handled at the airport. It must be completed in advance, usually through official online systems. Many seniors mistakenly believe this can be handled by the airline or travel agent, but in most cases, the responsibility remains with the traveler. Without an approved authorization, airline systems may not allow boarding, even if your passport is valid and your ticket is paid. This also applies to travelers who are only passing through the UK on a connecting flight. The safest approach is to treat this authorization as part of your ticket. If your plans include the UK in any way, complete the process early and confirm approval well before travel day. Europe's new entry system's major changes are also happening across continental Europe. In 2026, many European countries are expanding the use of automated entry systems that collect biometric information such as facial scans and fingerprints. Instead of speaking with a border officer, travelers are increasingly directed to kiosks that process entry electronically. For seniors, this can feel unfamiliar and stressful, especially for those who are less comfortable with technology. The most important change is that these systems track entry and exit dates with precision. Overstaying, even unintentionally, can create future travel problems. In the past, minor errors were sometimes overlooked. In 2026, automated systems are far less forgiving. Planning return dates carefully and keeping track of allowed stay periods is now essential. There has also been confusion online about additional European travel authorizations. Some websites are already attempting to charge travelers for services that are not yet fully active. Seniors should always rely on official government sources and avoid third-party websites that pressure immediate payment. Airline policy changes that affect seniors. Beyond passports and border rules, airlines themselves are making major changes in 2026, and several directly affect senior travelers. One of the biggest changes involves seating policies. Airlines that were once known for flexibility are moving toward assigned seating systems, premium seat charges, and more structured boarding processes. For seniors who prefer seats closer to the front or require extra comfort, this can increase travel costs if not planned carefully. Policies regarding extra seats for medical comfort, mobility devices, and battery restrictions are also becoming stricter due to safety regulations. For travelers using mobility scooters or powered devices, checking battery specifications well in advance is now critical. Arriving at the airport without confirming these details can lead to heartbreaking situations that are difficult to fix on the spot. The good news: stronger passenger protections. While many rules are becoming stricter, 2026 also brings stronger passenger protections. New regulations require airlines to issue refunds in situations where delays or cancellations significantly disrupt travel plans. For seniors on fixed budgets, this is an important improvement. There are also expanded protections for passengers with disabilities, ensuring greater respect and fairness when aircraft changes affect accessibility needs. Passport renewal is also becoming easier for many travelers through expanded online renewal options, reducing the need for in-person visits. However, one rule remains absolutely critical. Many countries require your passport to be valid for 6 months beyond your travel date. An expired or nearly expired passport can still lead to denial, even if it appears valid. To travel confidently in 2026, preparation is everything. Confirm your identification, carry a valid passport whenever possible, upgrade to a real ID if needed, apply for international authorizations early, track your travel dates carefully, review airline policies before booking, check mobility device requirements, carry printed backups of important documents, arrive earlier than you used to, and most importantly, do not rely on old habits. Travel in 2026 rewards preparation and punishes assumptions. If you take the time now to understand these new passport and travel rules, you can continue exploring the world with confidence, dignity, and peace of mind.